Jin Dong, I. Shui Lina was aggrieved. She thought that she had been beaten and that Jin Yongrong would give her a bad breath after he came over. However, she didn't expect that Jin Dong, who was usually very powerful, would be eaten to death by this country boy. Even though he was choked one after another, he didn't get angry and allowed himself to apologize. "What are you doing? Why don't you come over and apologize? Apologize to this little brother and that little girl. Otherwise, pack up your bed and get out." Jin Yongrong roared again. He had a lot of money. How much does such a young and beautiful girl cost? No. If Yi Feng gets angry, he will be in big trouble. "Oh, no, no need." Before Yi Feng could speak, Su Jingjing behind him spoke first. Turning around, he saw the girl's face was red and full of embarrassment. Her legs were tightly clamped and one hand pressing it slightly on the lower abdomen, the whole body trembled a little, as if trying to endure something. Yi Feng couldn't help but laugh. He had gone through a detoxification process after taking pills, and his whole body was covered in foul-smelling sludge. However, Su Jingjing's detoxification method seemed different from his. "Go quickly. If you need anything, we'll talk about it back to the village." Yi Feng took out a stack of toilet paper from his trouser pocket and stuffed it into the little girl's hand, waving to her. Su Jingjing's face turned red, she nodded, turned around and ran towards the hospital. She was probably dying of embarrassment at the moment, but she was in a hurry and couldn't delay any longer. "Here, is this the beginning of detoxification?" Jin Yongrong is indeed from a family background and has a certain understanding of the efficacy of the Qing Body Gu Yuan Dan. He saw Su Jingjing's current situation at a glance and opened his mouth in surprise. "Probably so. My own eating situation is a little different, but this process is definitely necessary." Yi Feng shrugged. It may be because he has practiced the Qing Tian mind technique, so he did not go to the grain reincarnation. Of course, he would not tell Jin Yongrong these things. "How many more do you have?" Old man Jin's eyes were fixed on Yi Feng's handkerchief, as if he was afraid that the pill would grow wings and fly away on its own. "There were 2 pills originally, but now there is only 1 left. Mr. Jin, look, why don't you wait for my girl and see the effect?" "No, I trust you, young man, you have vision and ability. Let's stop talking nonsense, just tell me how much it will cost, and you give me a price." Jin Yongrong said it nicely, but he had other plans in his heart. Since the girl is wearing a hospital gown, it means she is still seeing a doctor in the county hospital. It is not difficult to check her case. As for the efficacy of the medicine, it is easy to see. If it is fake or something, just look at Yi Feng, and the girl. Yi Feng's affectionate attitude was obviously an old acquaintance. "After getting the girl's information from the hospital, were you still worried that Yi Feng had escaped?" Therefore, Jin Yongrong is also happy to behave generously. "Okay, since the old man is so generous, I won't ask for more, just give me this number," Yi Feng said, making a 6 gesture with his hand. In his opinion, since it is a royal elixir, there should be no problem in selling it for this amount. Previously in the antique street, Mu Zixin didn't even scratch the surface of the price of 500,000 that the Buddhist bead seller offered. Jin Yongrong would not be reluctant to give up even this. 600,000. Haha, what a joke. Come on, I'll take you to the bank to transfer money. Jin Yongrong laughed, hugged Yi Feng's shoulders and walked to the bank next to him. Yi Feng said nothing. In fact, he was already stupid. The 6 he made was originally intended to be only 60,000 yuan. When the time comes, 50,000 yuan will be given to Erkui's family to let them get through this. The remaining 10,000 yuan will be used to buy a gold chain for Auntie. Who would have thought that Jin Yongrong could cost 600,000 with just one mouthful? Yi Feng felt like he was going to faint from the money. 600,000, this can renovate the shabby houses of Uncle Jen's family a dozen times. At that time, I was thinking about buying a Xiaoli if the sale was good, but now I can buy a Jetta. Ah. Seems to be about the same. No matter what, my whole head is dizzy anyway. Seeing Yi Feng's dazed look, Jin Yongrong immediately guessed the reason, but he didn't say anything. First, the medicine was definitely worth the price, and second, I said, young man, if you have something good next time, don't forget my old man. Yi Feng naturally agreed to Jin Yongrong's request. There are many local rich people these days, but there are not many local rich people who know the goods. At least in the recent period, if he has any gains, he still has to ask Jin Yongrong to ship the goods. Yi Feng's bank card was obtained when he was in college. He has never used it since he returned to the village. Today he finally opened it and transferred 500,000 yuan to the card. The other 100,000 yuan was obtained in cash. The manager of the bank he was always waiting by the side, smiling like a flower. Seeing that Yi Feng had no place to put money, he even asked someone to get him a black briefcase. Of course, the bank manager will not be so courteous because of 5 or 600,000. In the final analysis, it is because the person who comes to handle the business is Jin Yongrong. Yi Feng secretly vowed that he must make money ruthlessly, and no matter where he goes from now on, he will be looked down upon. 100,000 yuan is a huge sum of money in this small place. Jin Yongrong proposed to let Shuelina drive Yi Feng back to the village for safety reasons. She also ordered Shuelina to apologize to Yi Feng properly on the way, and no matter what Yi Feng's request was, she must satisfy it. Especially the 4 words, must be satisfied, are very serious. Everyone present is smart, who can't understand it. However, Yi Feng really doesn't like people like Shuelina. Although she kept flirting with Yi Feng along the way, saying flirtatious words, and even deliberately unbuttoning her shirt to seduce Yi Feng didn't do anything about it. Move. When she arrived at the entrance of the village, she was asked to drive back by herself. Just kidding, even if he had to corrupt his morals once, Yi Feng wouldn't want something like this. His face was so smeared that he didn't even know if the bullet could penetrate it. It made him sick just looking at it. After entering the village, Yi Feng went straight to Erkue's house. Erkue was his best brother in the village. If he didn't resolve his matter, he would always feel uneasy. As soon as he walked outside the yard of Erkue's house, Yi Feng heard a burst of curses coming from inside. Get out of here, I don't want your bride price. Get out. No one can try to take advantage of my daughter. The voice sounded like Zhao Laowei'er. Zhao Laowei'er, as his name suggests, has one word, wanderer. Yi Feng had lived for more than 20 years and this was the first time he saw Zhao Laowei'er angry. Old Zhao, don't be ignorant of good and evil. What's wrong with Xinlan marrying the old man of Wang Wanwan's family? It's just a matter of joy. After a few years, the old man has passed away. Isn't your Xinlan looking for someone else? Who? A voice that was several times higher than Zhao Laowen came from the room. It was Sangu. Yi Feng's brows furrowed again. He originally wanted Erkue to delay for a few days, but he didn't expect the third aunt to arrive so quickly. Now he strode into Erkue's house. In the room, Sangu and Zhao Laowen were sitting across the table, with a big red envelope on the table. Erkue and Xinlan were in the room next to them. Xinlan was sitting on the bed crying uncontrollably. Erkue persuaded her, while looking at the third aunt fiercely. Third aunt, old uncle, what's going on? I can hear you guys arguing here from so far away. Yi Feng didn't show any emotion, but he wanted to hear what the third aunt wanted to say. Hey, Fengzi, you came just in time, you are here to judge third aunt. Upon seeing this, third aunt immediately stood up and grabbed Yi Feng's sleeve. Old Weier's family is so poor, don't you think it's not good to marry into a good family? Wang Wanwan's family has a lot of money. No, I brought all the betrothal gifts today. The Wang family didn't want the 50,000 yuan that Lao Wan'er owed him before, and gave him 20,000 yuan as a betrothal gift. What's the point of this good thing? Looking for it? Well, according to that, it's really a good thing. Yi Feng made a look of approval. Zhao Laowei'er, who was next to him, was a little confused and looked at Yi Feng with a frown. Third aunt, you just said that once you marry, you will become a rich wife of a wealthy family. The old man's body is useless. He has only a few years to live. When the old man dies, Wang Wanwan's stepmother will be able to take care of him. With a family fortune, you can find a good wife and marry her, right? Isn't that the truth? Fengzi, you are a good person who has studied in college. I just said the same thing, but this Zhao Laowei'er, he is so incompetent that he can't even say anything nice. This bride price I brought them all, what do you want third aunt to do? Third aunt actually looked aggrieved. Oh. Well, let me see it this way, third aunt, since this thing is so good, and old Uncle Wan doesn't know how to appreciate it, you might as well marry your Xiaoyun to Wang Lao's Hun. A look appeared on Yi Feng's face. A sneer. What are you talking about? Sangu's facial muscles twitched. Her Xiaoyun and Xinlan were about the same age, and they were also famous and beautiful girls in the village. How can my Xiaoyun get into the Wang family? The Wang family just wants to celebrate. Isn't it okay to marry someone's girl? You, third aunt, don't think about your own girl first when doing good things. If Xiaoyun marries Wang Lao's Hun, you will be Wang by Wan's step-grandma, how can I miss you in the future? Yi Feng looked at the third aunt and couldn't help but sneer. Our Xiaoyun. Sangu smacked her lips and found that she didn't know what to say. We are all fathers and mothers. Your own daughter is reluctant to marry a bad old man, but other people are reluctant to marry her, right? Yi Feng suddenly slapped his hand on the table, and there was a loud bang sound, which scared the third aunt. The man jumped back. Then he rolled his eyes and became angry. I said, Fengzi, what are you trying to do with me? The old Zhao family owes Wang Wanwan a debt of 50,000 yuan. Wang Wanwan has said that today, the old Zhao family must agree whether they agree or not. What if? If you don't agree, go to court and sue the old Zhao family and let them. With a crisp sound of pop, Yi Feng grabbed a bunch of Grandpa Mao from his briefcase and slapped it on Sangu's face. The slap was not severe, but it frightened Sangu so much that she took 2 steps back. Little bastard, you. Your second uncle, you, aren't you just money? Yi Feng roared and took out 4 stacks of banknotes from his bag, grabbed the betrothal gift on the table and threw it towards the third aunt. Go away, tell Wang Wanwan, don't let him go. Do you think it's important to have a few bad money? From today on, the old Zhao family doesn't owe his son any money. Yi Feng, you little brat, you. The third aunt was really annoyed. If the matchmaking failed, the matchmaking money Wang Baiwan promised her would be wasted. Seeing the 3 aunts staring at each other and about to act up, Yi Feng took out a wad of banknotes from his briefcase and said, if you don't get out, these will be your old man's medical expenses. Yi Feng has been a well-educated child since he was a child. The elders are usually very polite, but for someone like Sangu who works as a scheming agent to bring harm to the fellow villagers, they should be slapped hard. The third aunt immediately lost her temper. She had dealt with a lot of betrothal gifts. She knew that a stack of banknotes was worth 10,000 yuan. If she really wanted to use it as medical expenses, the stack of old people's heads would be more than enough to remove all her teeth. There was no nonsense at the moment. He grabbed the money on the ground and ran away. Fengzi, what are you? The change just happened so fast that Zhao Laowener and his family didn't even react. It wasn't until the third aunt turned around and ran away that they came back to their senses. It's okay, old uncle, just slap her. No matter what, we can't let Xinlan be ruined by the Wang family, right? Yi Feng sat at the table, picked up the bowl of tea that the third aunt didn't drink, and drank it in one breath. Going down, for most of the day, one thing happened after another, and I was really thirsty. Brother Feng, your money. Xinlan looked timidly, as if she didn't recognize Yi Feng in her eyes. Don't ask me for money, Shengfen. Yi Feng waved his hand. I caught a very rare long worm by the river the day before. I won't go to the city to sell it. I got some money and just came back. Let's take it first, this is over. Oh. Xinlan said in a low voice, but her face suddenly turned red, obviously remembering what happened the morning before. No wonder you asked me to burn the insect pit yesterday. It turned out that you got rid of the baby bumps in the house. Erkue looked like he suddenly realized something. Okay, good brother, I will go out to work when my father gets better. I will pay you back the money as soon as possible. Go away. You little melon, you told me not to ask for money from me. Are you talking about this between brothers? Do you feel pain in your balls? Just stay at home and take good care of Uncle Lao Weier and Xinlan. Go, give Lao Weier uncle, buy some delicious food to replenish your health, and buy Xinlan some nice clothes. Yi Feng said, taking out a wad of money from his bag and stuffing it into Erkue's hand. Fengzi, this. Erkue wanted to say something else, but Yi Feng stopped him with a wave of his hand. Don't say anything, or my brothers will fall out. I said, Xinlan, you have the best voice. If I sing a song for you, Brother Feng, I will treat it as a reward for you, Brother Feng. Ha ha ha. While Zhao Laoweier's family was filled with joy, the atmosphere in Wang Wanwan's villa was very depressing. The third aunt was sitting on a chair in the living room and patting her thighs while talking. I'm telling you, Yi Mazi's grandson is too bad. I don't know where I got some money from, and now I slap my old lady in the face right in front of Zhao Laoweier. What else did they say? Sitting on the sofa next to him was a fat man in his 60s with a Mediterranean hairstyle. It was Wang Wanwan. They also said, that you just have some bad money, a bald man, and want to eat swan meat, so you have the idea of Xinlan. If you give up, they will marry Xinlan. I won't marry Mr. Wang even if I have a dog. The third aunt was unhappy, so when Wang Baiwan asked, she naturally became more jealous. Then Yi Mazi's grandson also said, why don't you let Wang Wanwan's wife marry your father-in-law? It's just for fun anyway. Fucking fart. Next to Wang Wanwan, a woman with a full face slapped the table and stood up. This person was Wang Wanwan's wife Sun Xuemei. It is said that a bad horse deserves a broken saddle. This is the reason for the rich and unkind Wang Wanwan. The wife I married is not a good person either. Sun Xuemei's brother is a cadre in the county. With this relationship, she walks around in the countryside and scolds anyone who doesn't like her. The villagers secretly call her Sun Ernyang. Old man, we can't just let this matter go. What do you think? I have to deal with the old Zhao family and that little brat today. Sun Ernyang picked up the teacup and threw it hard on the ground. I'm telling you, sir, if the old man can't get over this joy, not only will the old man have trouble getting over it, but it will also be a problem for the heroine. If something happens to me, no one will think about it. Don't make any noise. Wang Wanwan waved his hands with a sinister look on his face. When have my surnamed Wang suffered this kind of disadvantage in the village? Just wait and see. If I don't make it easy, I won't let them live in peace. The 40,000 yuan that Yi Feng got back almost made his aunt's jaw drop to the ground. After questioning him several times, where did the money come from, Yi Feng felt that it was too mysterious to talk about alchemy, so he simply told his aunt. Using the method taught by my grandfather, I helped a boss in the city check things out, and he gave me the money. Auntie didn't believe it at first, but later when Yi Feng brought up the story about Li Daniu's family, Auntie accepted the money with some doubt. That night, at Yi Feng's suggestion, they drank some wine and bought some cooked meat, and the three of them improved their lives. Uncle Jen laughed so hard that he kept praising Yi Feng for his future. Early the next morning, as soon as Yi Feng got up from bed, he heard someone shouting outside the yard, asking if there was anyone at home. When he went out to see, he found out that it was Wang Changui from the village. He passed by and gave a message to the village chief, asking Uncle General. I went to the village chief's house to talk about something. Uncle Lao Gen was still drunk, so Yi Feng and his aunt discussed it and asked Yi Feng to go for Uncle Lao General. It happened that Yi Feng also wanted to see what was going on with Su Jingjing. The village chief Su Wanyan was the only one in the village chief's house. When he saw Yi Feng coming in, Su Wanyan's face was extremely ugly, and his brows were wrinkled into a knot. Why is your kid here? Where is Lao Jenner? Uncle Su, Uncle Jen drank too much and hasn't gotten up yet. Auntie is afraid of delaying things, so she asked me to come over first to see what's wrong with you. Yi Feng felt that something was wrong with the village chief's expression. Yi Feng gave Su Jingjing tutoring lessons. When he went to the village chief's house, Su Wanyan, although not very enthusiastic, had never looked so droopy as he did today. Oh, why don't you get up? Anyway, I just want to inform you. Just go back and give Lao Jenner a message. Just say that the village plans to expropriate the 3 acres of land that Lao Jenner has at the entrance of the village. Now it's above. There is a policy to develop the cultural undertakings below, and someone will provide funds to build a stage there. From now on, we will invite the troupe to come and sing operas every now and then. Su Wanyan was in a very bad state of mind. After he finished speaking, he lit a cigarette. Started to smoke on his own. What? A stage? The stage can't be built anywhere, so why does it have to be built on the ground of Uncle Jen's house? Yi Feng originally had a smile on his face, but when he heard the village chief's words, he also became cold. Uncle Lao Gen often treats people for free, and sometimes gives away medicine for free. He can barely make ends meet, relying on the 3 acres of fields growing herbal medicine at the entrance of the village. Yi Feng is a rural boy. Although there is still 500,000 yuan in the card, he will not starve to death even if the 3 acres of land are gone. However, in the minds of rural people, fields are life. Without fields, no matter how much money they have, they will not feel at ease. The contractor said that it is best to build a stage on that piece of land. It is convenient for transportation and good for the feng shui of our village. Fengzi, you can't make the decision on this matter. Just go back and give Lao Gen a message. The village will pay him 2,000 yuan per acre. Su Wanyan waved his hand, indicating that Yi Feng could leave. Of course, the village chief is not busy, but he is very confused. The night before, Wang Baiwan ran over and told him that he planned to build a stage for the village and that he planned to expropriate Uncle Jen's land. The third aunt is always a talkative woman, and Er Kuei is a loudmouth, so what happened to Zhao Laoweier's house has spread throughout the village, and the village chief has naturally heard about it. Since ancient times, there have been many collusions between officials and businessmen. Village Chief Su and Wang Wanwan have frequent contacts, and they are very clear about his character. As soon as they heard about what he proposed, they knew that Wang Wanwan was going to start with Yi Feng one by one. Revenge. Originally, Su Wanyan didn't want to agree to Wang Wanwan's offer. After all, Yi Feng's grandfather, Yi Matzi, was a famous teacher from all over the country and had a high prestige when he was alive. Uncle Lao Gen is the only barefoot doctor in these villages. People in the village are reluctant to go to the hospital if they have a minor illness, so they come to see Uncle Lao Gen. Taking over the medicine field is equivalent to cutting off a road for Uncle Lao General. It will even be inconvenient for the villagers to see a doctor and get medicine in the future. If this matter is done, the villagers will definitely have a backbone. However, the conditions offered by Wang Wanwan were too much for Su Wanyan to refuse. During the Chinese New Year, Su Jingjing came back from school. As soon as she entered the 12th lunar month, she always felt dizzy for no reason. At first, her family thought it was anemia and she just needed to take supplements. However, who knew that it would become more and more serious, with nausea, vomiting, and general weakness. I went to the hospital for a checkup and found out that I had uremia. Uremia cannot be cured without a kidney transplant. However, let alone kidney transplantation, even the treatment during this period has already stretched the Su family's resources. Su Jingjing's illness was not publicized by her family, and almost no one in the village knew about it. Only Wang Wanwan heard him mention it once when she and Su Wanyan were drinking. So Wang Wanwan proposed that as long as Su Wanyan approved the construction of the stage, he would use 200,000 to pay for Su Jingjing's treatment. This made Su Wanyan unable to refuse. After all, being poked in the spine is nothing compared to the life of my own girl. Uncle Su, does the village have the right to take away the villagers' land with just such a sentence? You have taken away this land. What will Uncle Jen do in the future? What will the villagers do when they see a doctor and take medicine? Yi Feng was a little angry and looking at Su Wanyan's uncertain eyes. He had already guessed where the problem lay. Isn't it Wang Wanwan who wants to build a stage on the ground? No one has anything to do with you. Let you go back and tell Lao Zhen. This is the village's decision, and I will officially announce it later. Get out of here. Su Wanyan was already in a state of confusion, but now that Yi Feng said that he least wanted to face a question, I suddenly became a little angry, picked up the teacup and smashed it to pieces on the ground.